welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be a full face using Charlotte Tilbury products. So I have a whole little box here. A lot of it is new, some of it's not new, but I have a full face other than brows and mascara. So that's why I already have my brows on. But I thought it would just be fun to play around a little bit, use Charlotte Tilbury products. Mainly, I wanted to try out this foundation that I have. I haven't used it yet. This is the Airbrush Flawless Foundation. I kind of want to do a ranking all of my Charlotte Tilbury foundations. So I'm trying to give a little bit more love so I can make sure all my thoughts are concise on that. But that's what we're going to be doing today. If you like full face videos, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't yet, and let's just get started applying all this makeup. I'm not going to really zoom you in, I don't think. I kind of want to keep this a little bit more casual, and I already applied all my skincare, but first thing we're going to start with is the Hollywood Flawless Filter. I have the shade 3. So this is currently in Shop My Stash, which I'll link that video above. And I just have a shade that's too dark for me, I think. But this is so expensive. I'm not gonna really buy another shade, especially because it's not really my favorite product. This is just like not a product I reach for, really. So I like it. It's not bad. It's just not really my thing. But it is nice and it gives a nice effect. This one, shade 3, was definitely not the right choice. I'm gonna go in and just use a stippling brush. I've kind of been feeling this stippling brush. I don't know why. That used to be a big thing years and years ago. And I just thought I'd pull it out again. I haven't used this brush in a while. And just see if I kind of really like that effect. But here is kind of what we're looking like. It gives just a really nice glow to the skin. There are a lot of dupes now. I know that Tarte has just recently dropped their dupe of this. So I don't think you need to spend the money that this is. This is, I think, almost $60 if I'm not mistaken. And now they do have a mini. So if you're wanting this actual product, I would go for the mini. I kind of have like this redness under my eyes right now. I'm hoping that kind of goes away. When I was getting ready and doing my skincare, I applied one of those eye patches, and I think when I pulled it off, I was just maybe a little bit too rough. It's very early in the morning, a lot earlier than I normally wake up. So right now, all that's on my mind is if I should have a second cup of coffee or not, because I really try to limit myself to 1 cup of coffee a day, just because if not, I'll continuously drink coffee throughout the day and forget to eat. I try to be really strict on that, but today might be a 2 coffee day. So now I'm gonna go in. I have the shade 4 Neutral, which is the shade that I use in all of her other foundations that I've tried, the Beautiful Skin Foundation, the Light Wonder Foundation. And I've been hesitant to try this because I'm just expecting something to be more matte and a lot more full coverage. I'm gonna put only 1 pump on the back of my hand here. If I can find my photo, I will insert it. It has my swatch comparisons of all the Charlotte Tilbury shades that I have, but I don't know if I have that offhand. And I'm gonna go in with my Sonia G Jumbo Base. I'm really just gonna try and see if this 1 pump can cover my entire face. Because I've noticed with a lot of foundations that I'm just trying to go back and see what my thoughts are on. I'm finding them a little bit heavy, but I think I'm just used to a skin tint where it's a little bit more forgiving. You can use a little bit more and it won't look cakey. So I've been using kind of my fuller coverage foundations that way and then wondering why it looks really heavy. I really just want to try and spread this out as far as I can. That way it gives a good amount of coverage, but it's still not too heavy on the skin because I don't really like a full coverage foundation, but sometimes I want just a little bit more coverage than a skin tint can give me. And this is surprisingly better than I was thinking. Actually, okay, I take that back. I have to look really close because I don't have my glasses on. It's a little bit sitting on my skin, And that doesn't mean that it's a bad foundation, because maybe it's just the Hollywood Flawless primer that I put underneath it. But it's really just emphasizing my pores right now. It's like sitting inside my pores. One time I was trying a foundation and my boyfriend was like, how come your skin looks so pixely today? And it was like a really weird word, pixely. I was like, I'm not really sure I know what you mean. And what he meant was it looked like cakey and heavy. So it just, now I always think of that when I see foundation sitting in my pores, because I'm like, oh, it's pixely, which is actually not a bad word to use. But I think I'm just gonna try and go over this with my sponge to really press it in and see if that helps. This shade is really great for me. It's nice that Charlotte Tilbury, at least in her foundations, I have some gripes with some other things, but it seems in her foundations, the shade numbers correspond, and I appreciate that, or at least close to, because when different foundations in the same brand don't coincide, it makes it very difficult to find your foundation shade. The sponge helped a little bit. It looks good on my forehead. My main issue is just right here, right on the apples of my cheeks, kind of close to like my smile lines. I'm not loving it, but I think maybe there's potential. There's a little bit of potential. Let's go in with concealer next though. This is the Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer. And I'm just gonna apply this, and I'm probably just gonna use my sponge to blend it out. I do really like this concealer. I think it's a great versatile concealer that works well with medium coverage and light coverage foundations. Sometimes when you have a concealer that's just too full coverage, it doesn't look right with a skin tint or just a light coverage foundation. This works well with all types of foundation. However, I have been talking about this foundation in a lot of my videos because I do really like it. I'm just realizing that maybe I like it because it's new, not because it's as good as I think it is. The reason I think that is because last night when I was pulling all my products together, I was like, oh, I thought I had a full face of Charlotte Tilbury. I guess I don't have a concealer because I don't have that Magic Away concealer, which is her first concealer. And then I put all the things in the box. I went about my night. And then I realized, like, as I was doing other things, like, oh, I do have a Charlotte Tilbury concealer. I have the Beautiful Skin Concealer. I did a whole video on it. And then I was like, okay, so that tells me that maybe I don't like this concealer as much as I'm thinking I am, because it wasn't on the forefront of my mind. I didn't even remember that I had this concealer. It's just because it's newer that I've kind of been thinking about it, talking about it. But even though it's new, I completely forgot about it. Very conflicting what I'm saying. I'm hoping that's making sense. But it just kind of made me rethink the fact that I've been talking about this concealer being my number 2 concealer for the year. And then I completely forgot that I had it. So I don't know yet. It did just cover up my dark circles fairly well. I mean, not 100% complete, but I'm okay with that. I think that it gives decent coverage. And I do like the concealer. Now I'm just rethinking like if I love the concealer or not. Next, we're gonna go in with setting powder though. I have the Airbrush Flawless Finishing Powder in 1 Fair. I am very close to finishing this, very excited. I actually have this in my Project Pan video, which I can link, but I do really enjoy this powder. And every time I use it, I'm just struggling to decide once I finish this if I want to repurchase it, because I have other powders in my collection that I want to get use out of, but I love this powder. So I'm just stuck. Let me know your opinions down in the comments. I think that I'm leaning towards, once I finish this, bringing in another powder and finishing that powder. And once I do that, then I'll give myself permission to repurchase this, because I am trying to just cut down on my collection a little bit. And then that way, like, I finished 2 powders, I can justify repurchasing the 1. That's what I'm thinking, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm probably just overthinking it and it's not that deep, but going back, I'm just trying to lower my collection a little bit more, and I don't want to re-buy a powder, even though I clearly love it, when I have other powders I could use and then use up. But do I love those as much? Or do I not love those as much only because I haven't given them a chance because I love this one so much? It's a lot to think about, but that is where I'm at with this powder. I think it's a great powder. It's good enough where I would repurchase it, and I think it's a staple. A lot of people love this. And I also love that she has this in a mini, I believe. The only thing I wish I would see is that she has refillable packaging for this. And she might, because I believe that the white powder now, the newer one, is refillable. So maybe I just don't know yet. And once I repurchase this compact, it'll come with a refill, or it'll be able to be refilled, which would be really nice. But let's move on to bronzer. I do have the cream, the Beautiful Skin cream bronzer, and I also have the Airbrush bronzer, both in the shade 2 medium. I decided not to use both. I'm only going to use the powder bronzer. I do prefer this bronzer just a little bit more than the cream, and that's mainly because of shade. So I also did a video on the cream bronzer, and the thing with the cream bronzer is it's a nice cream bronzer. I've actually used it quite a bit, and I didn't love it at first, and I like it a lot more now. I just wish that I had gotten the shade Fair, and I got the shade Medium, so it's a little bit tough to work with for me. And the reason is because I have the shade Medium in this. So I was thinking that if I have the shade Medium in this, I'm gonna need the shade Medium in the cream, and that's what I was referring to talking about the foundation. Is the powder and cream bronzer do not correlate. Go down on the cream bronzer, but you're gonna wanna go up in the powder bronzer. So I'm a little bit just disappointed that I don't have the Fair. And since Charlotte Tilbury is more expensive, like I can't justify having 2 cream bronzers in my collection. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I do like the bronzer though, the cream bronzer. I like both bronzers. I just wish that I had the Fair shade because I think that it would suit my skin tone a little bit more, but it's at least passable. It's not so dark where I can't use it, so that's at least good. I'm just gonna bronze a little bit, do the sides of my nose here. Really, this should be a challenge video because I have my mirror so far away I can't see anything, and I'm hoping that this turns out okay. I'm kind of also toying with the idea of getting contacts again. I have never honestly used contacts. I tried contacts once when I was 18 or 19, so gosh, almost 15 years ago, and I tried it for like 2 days and they would just flake out of my eyes. So I have really dry eyes, clearly, and that's what was going on. But also, I think maybe I didn't have good contacts. I don't really know. I'm gonna keep moving along while I keep talking. This is the Chic to Chic blush. I have the shade Pillowtalk. I have not used this. I've wanted this forever. I think I have the shade Pillowtalk, but it's been sitting in my just bin of untried makeup, and I decided it was time to bring it out. Yes, I have the shade Pillowtalk. So this is what it looks like. Not a new product at all, but new to me. So anyways, I'm just toying around with getting contacts again, mainly for videos. Part of it is just like, I've been wearing glasses for so long now. I feel very comfortable in glasses. I feel like I look better in glasses. I kind of feel like I look a little bit weird or odd, but that's probably just a me thing, not being used to not wearing glasses. So I'm thinking about it. I think maybe it's just time to at least have the option, because wearing glasses definitely has its downsides. I mainly noticed it when I lived in Cyprus because it's just so sunny there. Not that it wasn't sunny in Arizona. I lived in Arizona for the bulk of my life, but I was definitely outside more, doing more outside things because you live right next to the beach. It was literally a 7-minute walk from my house to the beach. So I was outside a lot, and it's very just hard to, I have to carry my prescription sunglasses with my glasses and make sure I'm switching them out case by case. It gets a little bit irritating. So that's kind of like the main reason also wanting to wear contacts is like I can just wear regular sunglasses and not have to worry about it. This is the next product I'm going to use here. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand, and I have the shade Spotlight. This has been talked about everywhere, and it's just time for me to use it. Again, it is just sitting in my bin of untried makeup because I have so much that I brought from Arizona to here that I've never used, and it's just time to use it. I know this is a very hyped up product. Gonna be very careful squeezing this out. And I'll just show it on the back of my hand here. I do have the contour wand as well. I am almost finished with that. I might put that in my project pan next. Here is what the highlight's looking like. I know the back of my hand isn't the best for swatching, but when it's quick and easy, that's what I'm gonna do. Just gonna tap this lightly here. I will say for like being this light wand, like there's like no product. This could be way smaller. Like I'm up to here and now like the product's full. So that's a little bit disappointing. I don't love deceiving packaging like that. I take a brush and just kind of diffuse it out. And then I'm gonna go in with what's on the back of my hand here onto my brush, sweep it down my nose. I'm still about the highlight. I know it's all about the blush, but this is also a little bit more subtle. So I can get away, I think, with being a little bit more heavy-handed. This brush is my favorite highlighting brush. This is the Hinoki brush from Sonia G. I really enjoy it. She came out with new brushes and I am just so conflicted on whether or not to get them. I want them, but I cannot justify the price. I'm just gonna have to hope that they don't sell out very fast and then pick them up eventually. But this is what the base is looking like so far. Very pleasantly surprised so far. I think everything looks just really nice and flawless. The foundation's looking better too now that I have products on top. So maybe it just needs a little bit of time to warm up to your skin. But let's go in. What do I have left? I have lips and eyes left. So let's go in with eyes before we go in with lips. And this is the Celestial Pearl palette. For some reason, I could have sworn I had the Star Aura palette, which is now sold out. So I really hope that I have that somewhere and I just couldn't find it. The Celestial Pearl, though, that is still available on her website as far as 2 days ago when I looked. But it has this really pretty front packaging. I don't remember when this came out. Did it come out sometime for holiday? I'm assuming so because of the front. Okay, so we have Prime here, which is kind of like a baked gelée, Enhance, Pop, and then Smoke. So I'm going to start with this, and then I'm going to layer this kind of pinky shade all over, spotlight with this, and deepen up the crease with this. That's kind of how I'm going to do it. Quick, easy, and I think maybe I'm going to use my finger for the priming shade. It's very gold, so here's what that looks like. I will take like a better swatch photo and then just insert it in the corner so you can see what this looks like. But all of these are shimmer shades, at least most of them. One, maybe this Smoke shade is like an Enhance kind of satin shade. I could really just use this gold and be done with it. I think that Charlotte Tilbury's quads are so much better than her 12 pan palettes. I think they're 12 pans. But those, I don't know. I have the Pillowtalk one in that, and I just don't reach for it over her quads. I like her quads so much more. This has a teeny tiny bit of fallout, but nothing crazy, and I did use my finger, so it could be that. I kind of want to go in with the Enhance shade first, just to define, because I feel like I need some definition like in my crease here. Now the only downside to her quads is that they are pretty expensive. They're what, like $56? And I don't think that a lot of them are very versatile. You really can only get a couple of looks, and usually they're like more muted looks. So depending on your style of makeup, I can see how they're worth it for some people and just not worth it for others. I do like them. I don't know if I would say that they're worth the price point, but I do really like them. I think they're quick, easy, everyday looks, and you get really beautiful looks out of them. I only have two, this one and the Pillowtalk, I think. But they're definitely on my list to pick up. Charlotte Tilbury usually doesn't have like a good Black Friday sale, so I kind of just glossed over them for Black Friday. And this year they actually had like a decent Black Friday sale, so I'm kind of disappointed I didn't take advantage of that and grab some quads. And I kind of, if I could have gotten the pop shots that she came out with holiday at a discount, I might have picked one or two up, but too late for that. Sometimes it just doesn't happen that way. This is really pretty though. This brush has no product on it. I'm just kind of blending upwards and diffusing it out. Okay, so looking at these last two shades, I have the pinky shade here and then this pop shade, which is kind of really just a topper. I kind of like how this looks, and I don't know if the pop shade is really gonna do anything on top of this or just this pinky shade. So I think we're gonna take the pop, like the topper, and put that in the center. See if that gives it any dimension, but I don't think it's going to. And maybe I just have these shades mixed up because the back is kind of confusing on how it's laid out. So maybe I'm doing this completely wrong. That's okay. I'm kind of just gonna go like that because I feel like it kind of toned down that gold. I still really like this. I just think that I preferred it just the gold and the brown done. Just so we use all the shades though, I'm gonna go in with that pink and I'm gonna apply it to the inner corner here because it's not too stark of a pink. That way we can kind of just see what it looks like. Go in a little. It is very pretty. I just think I would wear the pink on its own. It kind of has like a very pretty shift to it, like subtle, but you can see it. It's not so subtle, it's just gone. I do have some kick up on my pan. And now I'm just gonna go in with that smoke shade and follow the bottom lash line. The brown does have a little bit of shimmer. It's not a true matte, but I wouldn't say it's a shimmer. So what is that, like a satin? I don't know the technical terms. I'm gonna connect this like this. And there we have it. So this is looking really pretty. Charlotte Tilbury, her stuff is just really, it's nice. Her stuff is nice. I'm gonna go in with my Pillowtalk eyeliner, which needs to be sharpened. So let me do that. And I'm just gonna go in and lightly line my top lash line, more to just fill in my lashes and make them look a little bit thicker when I apply mascara. Here are the eyes so far. I did also take that Pillowtalk eyeliner and do my bottom lash line just a little bit to add a little bit more smokiness. Let's do lips before mascara. That is the last thing. So I only have two Charlotte Tilbury lip liners. I have Iconic Nude and then I have Pillowtalk. Wasn't really sure kind of where my eye look was gonna take me. I also have two of her lipsticks, which is Pillowtalk and then Very Victoria. I'm kind of leaning more towards, I do love Very Victoria a lot, but here's Very Victoria, here's Pillowtalk. But since I use the Pillowtalk blush, I kind of am just thinking Pillowtalk is more of the way to go. So let's do that. Which one is that? This one. Just gonna line my lips lightly. I don't really go for this lip liner as much. I absolutely prefer the Iconic Nude. I use that one a lot. It's probably my most used lip liner, to be honest. Here's the lip liner so far. I don't know, I think the thing I just don't like about it is that it kind of doesn't feel like it's defining my lips at all. It just looks like nothing. I know that Charlotte Tilbury, or I'm pretty sure, came out with like a Pillowtalk 1, 2, like different intensities of the Pillowtalk. And I would really be interested in picking those up because I think that this Pillowtalk is just too light for my preference. Very Victoria is absolutely my favorite out of all of them. I'll finish applying this. Charlotte Tilbury does have really nice lip products. I should grab more, but I am committed to dwindling down my lip collection first before diving into that. But I think that once I do, I'm only gonna have just lip brands that I enjoy and stop trying so many different lip products because they end up going to waste. Like I have my tried and trues, like go from there and just go for different shades. But this is the final look so far. I am going to apply mascara off camera. I thought I had the Pillowtalk mascara, but I don't. I can't find it. And then we'll just kind of wrap up this video, talk about these products a little bit. And there we have it, a full face using Charlotte Tilbury makeup. Let's kind of just recap these super quickly. I'm not gonna really stay on them too much because I think I kind of did a lot of my thoughts when I was putting them on. This is a good product. To me, it's overhyped. I don't really see the hype behind it. It's not something that I love and gravitate towards. The foundation, this actually surprised me. It looks so much better than when I first applied it. I was a little bit worried once I put this on that the rest of my makeup wasn't gonna look good, but I'm very, very happy with this so far. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in me doing a ranking all of my Charlotte Tilbury foundations, because I'm pretty sure that I have the entire line and that's why I want to do that. I did it with my Chanel foundations. I can link that video above and a lot of people seem to like it. So let me know on that. The concealer, I think I made my thoughts known on this. It's a good concealer, it's solid. I just think that we get wrapped up in the new products and this is going to be a product years from now I'm gonna pull out of my collection. I can just see it and be like, why did I stop using this? And it's just because it's new. So that's my thought on that so far. But if you're in the market for a new concealer, I think this is a great choice. But if you have other concealers in your collection, you don't need to run out and buy it. It's not that special. For the powder, I don't think I really need to say too much on this. It's very clear. I love this powder. It's amazing. I take it with me everywhere when I travel, and I used to travel quite a bit for long periods of time. Great powder. It's probably my all-time favorite powder that I've used so far. And then onto complexion products, bronzer, blush. Bronzer solid, love this bronzer. I think I still prefer this over the cream, which is why I picked it. So if you're deciding whether you want the cream or bronzer, the cream or powder, then it's really gonna depend on your preference. But as far as formula, the ease of blend, I think the powder is just so much better. The cream is very clay-like in texture. It's not creamy at all. So you really just have to work it into your skin a lot. And that's why I just like the powder more, I think. Blush, I haven't tried this blush formula before. I know it's surprising. Have I tried any blush from Charlotte Tilbury? I don't think so. First blush ever. Honestly, I really like it. It surprised me. I thought it was gonna be different for some reason. This like nude here, the pop, the swish and pop, you know, I think it's a little bit gimmicky, but it's unique. People gravitate towards it because of that reason. And I'm just gonna, you know, mix it together. But the sheen is really nice. It's not too glowy of a blush. It gives just the perfect amount of sheen. I really like that. Highlight, you know, I can see why this is hyped up. The Hollywood Flawless filter, I think that's overhyped. I can absolutely see why this is so popular. I love this. I really want to grab the Pillowtalk shade, but I couldn't justify buying that before I had even tried this one. So now that I have, it moved up on my list, the Pillowtalk. I think it looks stunning. It's the perfect just everyday highlight. It gives something like I can see it, but it's not just too out there. Amazing highlight. Actually, this might be my favorite thing out of everything is the highlight. And then going into the eyeshadow palette, I love the front design. It's unique, it's special. The Baked Gelée formula gave me a little bit of fallout, and I've talked about this in other videos. Fallout for me is tough because I always do my base before my eyeshadow. It's just the routine that I'm in. It's hard for me to break that. So it's not enough where I think I would do my foundation after my eyeshadow, but it's a little bit. I think you just need to be careful. The thing is, I have it more on this eye, which was the first eye I did, and not so much on this eye. So it might just be a matter of maybe I picked too much up on my finger. So I'm going to play around with it, but I'm very happy with this. It is an all shimmer palette. My friend Bridget would be very happy that I used no mattes on my crease. She's always telling me, you don't have to put mattes in the crease, you can use a shimmer. So I branched out a little bit and I like it. I think it looks very nice. So happy with this, which just leaves us with the eyeliner. I think you can see how much I love this. I had to sharpen it before using it, so I do use that quite often. I don't have too many eyeliners. I have a black, a brown, a nude, and that Pillowtalk eyeliner, so I do really love that. And lips are great. Like I mentioned, the Iconic Nude is probably my most used lip liner. I love this formula. I like it more than the Lisa Eldridge formula. I have not tried the Pat McGrath. I know that that's compared a lot to these lip liners. I have not tried it, but compared to the Lisa Eldridge ones, I like these lip liners a little bit better. And then the lipstick formula, solid. I mean, these are talked about lipsticks. They withstand the test of time. They've been out for quite some time. People still talk about them. It's a great formula. I'm not going to go on and on about that. And then the last thing I realized once I was doing mascara is I don't have setting spray, but honestly, I haven't been using setting spray in months. I don't know what it is. I only use setting spray if I'm finding that my makeup's looking very, very powdery, to just take that powder down, but I don't use setting spray for longevity. I have never tried her setting spray. Eventually I might, because it does come in a mini, and that's a little bit more of an incentive for me to pick it up and just test it out. But I have so many setting sprays that I'm not getting through. It's not top of my list to grab, quite honestly. And I heard that it's a little bit polarizing as far as people liking it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments if you think I need to try that setting spray. Mainly I need to know, is it more of a longevity setting spray like the Urban Decay, or is it more of like a moisturizing setting spray? Because I really just prefer a setting spray to take down powder. I'm not looking for longevity. I just need one for longevity for like those rare occasions that I leave the house, and that's it. But that's going to wrap up this video using all of my Charlotte Tilbury products, some new, some old. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Listen to me talk a little bit more. I don't really just talk about my life too much, so I kind of wanted to do that a little bit more, go forward in my videos, just talk about myself, less about the products all the time. And that's where I'm going to leave you. Hope you all are having a great day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.